Hello and welcome to today's class. Today we are going to be doing a happy hips and hamstrings flow. This is a flow that I was doing just about every night as I trained for my 10K that I ran at the end of March of this year. So we are going to go ahead and get started in a mountain pose. So go ahead and bring your feet about hips width distance apart, hands down at your side, nice long tall spine. Think about a string coming out of the crown of your head, pulling your spine nice and straight. And pull your rib cage towards your hip bones for a little bit of core engagement. Feel all four corners of your feet as they plant into the mat. Arms down at your side, palms face forward. You can close your eyes if that feels good. Take a breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Feel your shoulders as they melt away from your ears. Inhale. Exhale. Bringing yourself into this present moment. And blink your eyes open if you want, or if it feels good, you can keep them closed. Inhale, reaching arms up overhead. Grab your right wrist with your left hand. Inhale, reaching up nice and tall. Exhale, begin to bend over to your left, pulling on your right arm ever so gently. Keep your right hip planted down. Think about lifting up and out of your right hip as you bend to the left. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Inhale, come up through center. Exhale, switch your hands. Inhale, reaching up. Your right hand is now grabbing your left wrist, lengthening your spine as you exhale, bending over to the right. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Keeping your left hip planted. All of your movement is coming from the top half of your body. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, inhale, coming back up through center. We'll do each side one more time. Switch your grip so your left hand grabs your right wrist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. And inhale, come up through center. Switch your grip. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Inhale, come up through center. Step your feet slightly wider if you need to. We're going to come to a forward bend from here. So with your next exhale, bringing your hands through heart center, forward fold. Reaching for your toes, fingertips can touch the mat, palms can touch the mat if you have that depth. Walking out your knees, bending your right and then your left. Little sway back and forth in your hips. Just a little bit of mobility here. Let your head hang heavy. Inhale, halfway lift. Just walk your hands over to so your head is facing the short edge of your mat. Coming down to hands and knees. You want your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips, neutral spine. You can have your toes tucked or untucked, whatever feels good. Inhale, arch your spine, pointing your tailbone towards the sky, pulling your chest through your arms, gaze lifts, cow pose. Exhale, you're going to tuck your tailbone, round your spine, tuck your chin, cat pose. Inhale, coming back through cow, arching your spine, pulling your chest through your arms, lifting your gaze. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, round your spine, tuck your chin. And do that one more time. Inhale, moving to cow pose. Exhale, coming to cat. Inhale, back to a neutral spine. Step your hands one palm's distance in front of where they are. Shift your weight into your hands. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips up and back, pressing back, downward facing dog. Press firm through your hands, strong arms. Bend your knees as much as you need to, hips pointing towards the sky. Long, straight spine, ears between your elbows. Take a breath here. Inhale, shift your gaze to the top of your mat. Drop your knees. From hands and knees, step your right foot up, then come up to a low lunge. Left knee is on the ground. Toes can be tucked or untucked on that left foot, whatever feels more comfortable to you. Engaging your left glute, squeezing your left butt cheek, lengthening in your front hip flexor. Right knee is at a bend, shifting your hips forward, pushing so your knee goes over your toes a little bit if it can. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Drop your right forearm to your right thigh, stretching your left arm up ahead, reaching towards the sky. Exhale, bend over to the right. Feeling a little bit of a stretch in your left hip flexor. Keep your right knee bent, pushing forward. Exhale, drop your left hand to the mat. So it's parallel to your right foot. Squeeze your right knee in, bending your right knee. Exhale, twist open with your right arm, right fingertips reaching towards the sky. Gaze going to your right fingertip. Bring your right hand down inside your right foot. Walk your right foot out to the outer edge of your mat. Toes pointing out at an angle so your heels on the mat, your toes are off the mat. Tuck your left toes, scoot your left knee back just a smidge, and then untuck those toes, hands resting on your mat. Drop your right knee open and pull it closed. Do that a couple times. Just a little bit of mobility in this right hip. Then we're going to do some hip circles. So think about drawing a circle with your hips. We're going to go clockwise 4 times. Once you've gone clockwise 4 times, go counterclockwise 4 times. And just getting some mobility in those hips. You can rock back and forth. So work to send your hips back towards your left heel, straightening your right leg, and coming back into the lizard lunge. And do that one more time, stretching back, sitting back, stretching your right hamstring. If you have some blocks, you can use those if you need them. Just we're going to come down onto our forearms if that feels good in your hip. If this is enough challenge, stay here. If you want to go deeper, you can come onto your forearms, whether that you have blocks in front of you and you come down onto your blocks or all the way down onto your mat. We're just going to take a few moments to breathe here. Breathe into your hip, feeling the opening in your pelvis. It just feels really good while you're running a lot. Get some stretching and mobility into some of these muscles and tendons that are getting used with our running. If you came down onto forearms, go ahead and press back up onto your hands. Once you're up, bring your right knee back to meet your left, moving so that way your knees are under your hips, your hands are under your shoulders. Tuck your toes. We're going to take a down dog. So press back when you're ready. Notice how different your two hips feel. No judgment here, just noticing the difference with the movement. Take a breath here. Inhale, shift your gaze. Exhale, drop your knees down to the mat. Step your left foot onto the mat, coming up for low lunge on the other side. Engaging your right glute. This is my tender side, this right hip. Engaging your glute, long straight spine. Think again of that string coming out of the crown of your head, lifting tall. Once you feel stable in your legs, inhale, bring your arms up overhead. With your next exhale, drop your left forearm down to your left thigh. Inhale, lengthening nice and tall. Exhale, begin to bend over to the left. Exhale, drop your right hand down to the mat so your right hand and your left foot are parallel. Take a breath in. Exhale, reaching your arm up towards the sky. Gaze shifts to your fingertips. Keeping your left knee bent. Just a gentle twist here. And exhale, drop your left hand inside your left foot. Walk your left foot to the outer edge of your mat. So again, your foot comes to that angle. Your heel stays in the arch of your foot, stays on the mat. And the ball of your left foot and your left toes are coming off. So your foot is kind of at an angle. Tuck your right toes, lift your knee up and back and move it a little bit more centered so your right leg is laying kind of squared between your hands. And then drop your left knee towards the ground, just getting some openness in that left hip. And we're going to do that 3 or 4 times. And once that feels good, you can start doing your hip circles. We're going to go clockwise, think of drawing a circle with your hips. And go 4 times each direction. And once that feels complete, you can start to shift your hips back towards your right heel, lengthening and stretching, straightening out your left leg. Inhale, coming back up to the lizard lunge. Exhale, stretching out. Inhale, coming back up to lizard lunge. If you took the deeper variation on the other side, go ahead and try and get down onto forearms on this side. And if staying on hands feels good, then just breathe there. Notice if this side feels any different. No judgment, just noticing, observing the sensations in our body. Just 2 more breaths here. If you are down on forearms, press yourself back up to your hands and step your left knee back to meet your right. Take your knees as wide as your mat. Bring your big toes together. Sit your heels back, coming to a child's pose. Walk your arms forward and drop your forehead to your mat. With your next exhale, pull yourself back up, making your way to sit on your mat. Inhale, reaching arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Thank you for practicing with me today. May peace be with you until next time. Namaste.